Trump would love to come in as the man who ended the Ukraine war. He doesn't particularly care whether or not it ends on terms that give Vladimir Putin 20% of the country and therefore ratifies Putin's bet that he could expand Russia's borders by doing the invasion. So during the Biden administration, the byword was nothing about Ukraine without Ukraine, which was to say, we're not going to go negotiate with the Russians behind Ukraine's back and then force them into a deal. I'm not entirely sure, Ian, how it is that you get an agreement in 24 hours to end the war. But the only way I can imagine in my limited way for how you do that in 24 hours is you have a call with Vladimir Putin and you say, Vlad, what do you need? And he's going to say, well, how about the 20% of the country I already have and a commitment that Ukraine will never join NATO or can't join them for 30 years or something like that. And then the next phone call, you could imagine, could be Donald Trump to Zelensky. Do I have a deal for you? For a mere 20% of your country and for a commitment that you will not join NATO, you will get peace, you'll get investment. I'll send my best hotel buddies over to think about, how they can rebuild Kyiv. It'll be beautiful. You'll continue to be able to have a corridor down to ship your grain out from across the Black Sea. And so you can easily imagine him sort of forcing a deal. And Zelensky wouldn't have much of a choice because the alternative would be a full cutoff of U.S. aid.
Right, which he utterly and desperately needs. And look, certainly Zelensky has shown in the last couple of weeks that he recognizes that he needs desperately to stay on Trump's good side.
The sign for this, Ian, is that all of a sudden the Ukrainians are talking about what do the security guarantees look like. Now, remember when they gave back the nuclear weapons that were on their soil, they got a security guarantee that was supposed to be signed up to by the United States, Britain, and Russia. And that turned out not to be terribly valuable in 2022.
They'd be much better off with nukes right now.
If the nukes were under their control, which in the old world they never were.
Yeah.
But absolutely. And you heard Zelensky begin to muse about nuclear weapons a few weeks ago. Here's the problem with the deal that's coming together. At one point, American officials said their goal here was, this was during the Biden era, to make sure that Russia could never do anything like this again. Not to Ukraine, not to anybody else. They've clearly failed at that objective. And the deal that seems to be everyone's dancing around would give some territory to Russia, but I don't understand what would keep Russia from using some time to rebuild, learn the lessons from the mistakes they made, and move to take the rest of Ukraine.